Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you? Hello? Am I audible? Yeah. So inshallah today we'll continue our class 7 of Python and C++. I see no other participants, but no problem. Inshallah we'll continue our class. So in the last homework, I gave you to calculate the roots of a quadratic equation. In that calculation, what we have used some of the predefined functions. What were the predefined that we used? It were sqrt and power function, and also absolute function. So this is the program that we did in Python. And there is also another function which is called absolute function. You know what this absolute function prints? It will print the absolute value of whatever it's given to it. So if you give absolute of -1, it will give you the answer is absolute of -1. And I say print absolute of -1. Okay, let me remove all this, and it gives us the value, absolute value. It means only the positive value. It is similar to the modulus. We write something in the two like this. In mathematics, sometimes we write like this, right? Mod of something, and we write whatever. For example, if you write x plus y, then it will give you only the positive value. We write it in the mathematics, right? Yeah. So the same function, this function abs, it will give us the absolute value. So in this program, what I'm doing is trying to check if the square root, if you remember that. Yeah. Okay. If you remember in the last class that we did, do you remember the last class we gave you this question of calculating the roots? So roots has to take only the positive value, right? When the calculation is going on, this b square minus 4ac has to be always positive. It cannot take any negative value. So you have to be careful that this value is a positive value. For doing that, you can write a bracket and say this is absolute of, give us the absolute of this thing. And which is what I written here. This one. What I'm saying, you have already written this code that if b square minus 4ac, you have written everything, right? So before doing this b square minus 4ac, what I am trying to do is this 4ac should be less than b square. What does this mean? See here, we'll try to understand by this thing. The other slide, yeah. So when this b square minus 4ac will be negative, can anybody tell me when b square minus 4ac will be negative? On what values of abc, or on what value of this term and this term, this whole term will be negative? If this term is so if this term is greater than this term, then obviously this will become negative, right? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Just wait. Yeah, for that reason, I am trying to check if this value is always greater than this one, so that this square root does not take any negative value. Okay, and here I am writing that program, only one single line. In your program, you have already written these 3 lines. First, you have imported the math library and tried to take input from the user to take the value of ABC, right? And then now I'm trying to check if this 4AC is always less than B square. If this is the case, then only I'll try to calculate the roots of this equation, x1 and x2, and then print it. Okay. So this is the one of use of absolute function which I have shown here. We are you okay? We'll move forward. Okay. So I am going to introduce one of the predefined function which is called as rand, and the function, and this function we represent it as rand, and we can give any of the number to this rand function. So let me show working of this function in C++. Okay, let me remove all these things and we'll see what the function rand will give us. And some of the predefined functions as here we are getting some voice from your end. Here, this function rand is a function which will give us random number. Okay, any random number. What is meant by a random number? Anything, like whenever you get something in your mind randomly, it's called random. Okay, this random function, it will return a random number. By default, it will return a number to us. This function is defined in this library, CST library. Okay, C standard library. In this library, this function definition is there. That's why we have to include this library whenever we are going to use rand function. So let us see what a rand will give us. I am trying to initialize an integer which is called as x and which is storing something which is being returned by this random function. Okay, and I want to see what is there in this x. What has been stored in this x by this random function. Okay, the random function actually takes some arguments. You know, every function will always take some arguments. Yes, of course, there will be some functions which will not take any arguments. Arguments, I mean the value that we will send here. Okay, the main function is not taking any value. The main function is always like this. It will not have any kind of arguments. Okay, I'll give random 3. Okay, let us try to understand what this function is actually doing when we are something I have missed. Hash include, yes, is this C++? Let me check again. Maybe it's giving me some problem. Okay, let me explain you here. So where is the random function? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I given the arguments here, right? I shouldn't give the arguments here. I'm sorry for that. Where it is? Yeah. I should give arguments outside. Will not take arguments inside. I have to give the arguments outside. How I have to give, I will tell you. I just missed this thing. I should not give arguments here. Okay. So let us check what it's giving. This gave me a very big number, which is a random number returned by this random function. Okay, I don't want this big number. I want a random number which is from 1 to 10. So if I want a number which is from 1 to 10, what I have to do? For that thing, I have to write like this. So this is the syntax of a random function in C++. We have this function everywhere in C++, Python, Java, and many other ways, many other programming languages. Everywhere it has different syntax. Okay. So here it's the syntax like this. When I say random percentile 10, then it will return some random value again. But this time that random value will be inside 10 and not including 10. Okay. This will not include 10. And if I want to include 10, I have to write +1 here. When I write +1 here, it will include 10 also. Okay. If I write +1, it will include 10, or else it will not include. Okay, this is good. But if you try to observe here what's happening, I'll remove this and try to run this again. Okay, if you observe, this number was already there. Last time when we compiled this program, this gave us the same number with this compilation. Okay, so for this reason, what's actually happening, when we are giving ran there, it gave us random number. When we are asking the compiler again, give us a random number, it's giving the same number which it did last time. For example, I said please give me a random number. You told me 2. I asked again. You told me 2 again. So I don't want the same random number every time. I want a different random number each time I do. And for that reason, we have another participant. For that reason, we have to use some timing library. So that timing library is, I'll use it here. It is srand, and we have to use unsigned, and then we have to also include, and we have to give time. We have to give time, and also we have to include the library for this. Okay, hash include, what's the library? It's time something, standard time. Let me check it again. It's C time. It's C time. I have to include this library if I want to use srand function. Okay, this is C time library. So you don't have to remember all of these library. Whenever you are doing some program, you can just Google it, or you can go to the C++ documentation and see which function is there in which library. Then you can do it. And now I am initializing the time as time of 0. Okay. What does this mean is, every time, it's taking time in seconds. Every time when I run this program, give me different kind of number. Okay. It gave me this different number. See, so this is one of the use of random function. We will also see the random function in Python too. So just be patient. I'll explain that one too. Before that, we'll try to write a program using this random function. What is the actual use of random function? Why do we need to understand this? You have seen some of the games which will ask you to guess a number, and then it will show, no, sorry, your guess was wrong. Guessing games, guessing games. And we have some games which will have some kind of flip-flop. You will flip one time this, and the second time you will flip the other. When the two flips match, then that will be considered as winning situation, right? These kind of games actually have the random function behind it. Okay, that's the reason we have to know the usage of random function. Let us write a game, actually a small program which works like a game. And what does it do? It will ask you, please enter a random number. And then if your random number matches with the random number of the computer, then you will win. Okay, so it's very quick. Inshallah, I'll try to write it in very quick way. So this is our random number. Instead of printing it, what I do is I'll ask you, okay, user, please enter your number. Okay, your number. Okay, and then when I enter that number, I will use it, initialize it as y. Good. And what I have to do, if the entered x is equals y, then I print you win. Okay, you win. Did you get what I'm doing here? I am asking the computer, just take some number. Now here we will try to reduce our range and ask the user, ask the computer to generate the random numbers up to 3 itself or up to 5. We will take 5. Now this is my question for the participants. If I write 5 here, until what numbers will it take? Please tell me, until what numbers will it take?
Less than 5. 4.
Okay, less than 4. Okay. Very good. This will take less than 4. Yeah. I'll compile this program and see. It's please enter your number, and it's taking something and it's not checking anything. Let me check this again. Okay, I have initialized y. Sorry, I have to read it, right? See in. Nobody have observed this. I have to read this y from the user and I have to check it afterwards. Okay, now because our number is below 5, let me write as 4 and see if my guess and computer guess is same. Yeah, we won. Now let us play again. Any one of you give me a guess, any number. Okay, give your guess, please. Let's see if you are so lucky to match the guess of a computer. It's just 3. 3. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, 3. Let us go with 3. No, sorry. This time we didn't win. So we'll write another else, which will say, sorry, you did not win. Better luck next time. Okay, you got this game, right? So how we can use the random function for doing something. Okay, we'll move forward. Yes, we have wrote all the program I have. Yeah, this thing, yeah, I have shown you already. Okay, you can weave these things in your free time. I mean, when you are reading. I'll share the slides, okay? This is not a very big thing. Yeah, now we'll go to the random function of Python. For this thing, we have to import the random library of Python. What is the random library of Python? It's import random. How we'll include the random library? Any library for Python will include using the keyword called import. And after that, if you remember how we wrote the sqrt function in Python, sqrt, while using sqrt, what you did? You wrote
math.sqrt.
The same way, we will use random.randint. Here, it's specifically saying, give us the random integer number. Here it's little different. Here it will take arguments. In C++, it was not taking any arguments, but here in Python, it will take arguments, and those arguments are of it takes two arguments. One is the initial argument and one is the final one. Like it will actually take the, yeah, it will take the range. Do you know what is meant by range? Range is something which has a starting point and an ending point. So when you give some initial number and final number, for example 1, 5, then it will take 1 to 5 as the range for this generation of random integers. In this case, the 5 is also included. Okay? In this case, the 5 is included. C++ a bit different, and this one will take you with 5. Okay? So now we will try to save this here and let us print x. Okay, Bismillah. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, we will also try to give a game. It's still executing. No problem. I'll try to explain you how we are going to write a game in C++2. Okay. So here we are trying to develop another game using Python. Okay. Using Python. What we are trying to do is we will ask the computer to generate 2 random numbers. Okay, done. 2 random numbers or just 2 numbers. Okay, after that, we will say that multiply these 2 numbers. It can do it, right? The user will be asked to enter the answer of multiplication of those 2 numbers. For example, let us see here. This will be on your console. It will ask you, the console will ask you, do you want to multiply? If you press Y, then it will give you 2 random numbers. For example, it gave you 4 and 3. And now the computer will ask you, please give us the answer of this thing. After you enter the answer, the computer will say, if you entered correct, the computer will say, yes, very good, you are right. You have entered the correct answer. If you give the wrong answer, it will say, no dear, sorry, 4 into 3 is actually 12 and you have entered 4, which is wrong. Okay. So now we are going to do this program. First of all, what was there on the console here? Do you want to multiply, right? So firstly, we will try to write that thing. Okay. The connection is lost. I'll try to establish the connection again. Let us duplicate this. In the homework and assignments that I have given last week, I have seen that only few of you have done the assignments of Python. Can I know why? You did not like the assignment this time? Because every time when I'm giving the assignment, you are very happy with the assignment and you are trying to solve it. But this time I saw very few of them have solved it. Okay. First, let me import random, and then I will give us, okay, something like this. Okay, answer. This will be our answer. And what will be our question? What will be our question? Input. And what we'll be asking to the user? Do you want to? Okay, want to multiply. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Here, please tell me, see this program again. I want it from you. Where is the program? Here. Yes. Do you want to multiply? What is the thing that we are taking here? It's yes or no. Okay. So You have to give y or n. You have to give either y or either n. With that, yes or no, you have to give the checking. Okay. So in that you can also write, please only press y or n. You might have seen so many programs which are running like this when you are doing something installation in. Have you, anybody of you installed Python in your computers? Installation.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have installed, man.
So have you ever seen that? Do you want to something on the console, like on the command prompt? You will see, do you want to do press yes or no? You will be seeing like this, right? Yes or no, why yes, yes, or why or no, like this you will see.
Sorry, I'll share you on the chat. I share. I got like this.
Okay, okay. So this thing we'll see so many. We'll see so many times that we have to. Okay, okay. You have this already with you. Okay. It means Python is installed in your computer and you are trying to execute Python using the command prompt. Okay. So this is Python console. Yeah. So this thing we'll see many times. We'll see everywhere where the user will be asked to enter some character, and based on that decision, some lines of code will be executed. And this is what happens behind that lines of code. Okay. So now we'll try to take the input from the user, yes or no. Okay. Okay. If the answer, whatever the answer we have, if the answer is equals, we have already seen this, y. Okay. If the user has entered y, then we will try to take a random number, rand int, and that number, let us take it very simple from this to this. That will help us. Okay. And I'll take another integer which is of from the same range, and I'll copy it here. Okay, good. And now to simplify this code, just I'll try to print a sorry, I'm giving C out. Okay, I'll just try to print A and B to see if actually our if statement is working fine. Always remember, when you are doing the programming, you have to always do line by line programming. In all other programs, it's a bit different. You know, these programs, like for example, if it's C++, it will compile after all of your lines of codes have been executed. I mean, all has to be done. But Python is command line. It will execute line to line. So always remember, if you have done any mistake, see here, we have done some mistake. It's showing invalid syntax. So whenever we are doing some kind of mistake here, it will show us. So always go line by line by line. Okay. So what's happening here? We have asked the user to enter something. We did right. Let me check again what I have did. Yes. What I have missed. If anybody is going to answer my question, what I have missed, then they are going to get some appreciation, inshallah. It's very simple. It's very simple. Usually when we are coding, we miss some of the very simple things, very minute things, which and then we'll be scratching our heads, we'll turn on hours and hours, we'll Google, we cannot find the answer. So what is the problem that is there here in only 5 lines of code?
After if statement in fourth line, there should be some space.
Okay, you mean the indentation error. Okay. After bringing it here, I pressed enter. It's not giving me any space. What's missing again?
Quotation is not there.
Quotation? Where the quotation?
Why?
This is a character. Okay. This is a character. Character can take only single quote. That's fine.
Colon.
Very good, mashallah. So you are observing colon. So it happens with us. So again, there is, yeah, here is the indentation error, which who has told us, yeah, someone gave me colon. Yeah, very good, mashallah. This is Muhammad Wazir. You are doing the execution with us. I'm very happy with that, mashallah. So all the participants, see one of your classmate, he is executing along with us, mashallah. Okay. Yes. Do you want to multiply? If I press N, what will happen? It will not give me anything. It will not go there. Only if I press Y, it will go. Okay, go forward. Yes, it gave me two random numbers, 5 and 5. If you remember, yeah. Okay, we'll not go into much details. Now, what I'll do is print A, and I say X. This is X. This thing I am trying to represent multiply B. What we have to do, if you remember the program, what we are going to do is asking the user that two random numbers multiplication. Okay, the same thing I am trying to write here, multiplication of these two random numbers. And okay, how we'll multiply these two random numbers? We know that. How we multiply two random numbers? I mean, two numbers. What's
Unable to hear you.
yeah, I was on mute. I was waiting for all the participants to join.
Oh, okay.
So now I am just trying to represent here A, this is multiplication symbol, and B, and now I'll try to take the answer from the user. Okay, now we have to take the answer from the user, and I am trying to store the answer of the user in this variable called multiply answer. Okay, you can name it anything. And how we can take an answer a number? We can take it by using like this, input the integer, and we'll ask the user, yeah, please enter your answer. Okay, and we'll say something like this, equals. Good. What we have to do after this, after the user had entered the answer, we have to check if, what we have to check, if really A multiplied B is equals the, please tell me what I have to write here. If really, very good, multiply answer. Okay, and now I'm not gonna miss colon. Print, well done. Okay, then else, if that is not the case, print, sorry, the correct answer is, what is the correct answer? It has to be A multiplied B. Okay, we'll try to run this. Okay, do you want to multiply? I say yes, I want multiplication. 3 multiplied over 3. What should be our answer? It should be 9. Okay, let me see. Well done. Okay, this is a simple game using the random function in Python. We have just done 2 games using C++ and Python using the random function. We'll move forward. I'll introduce strings to you. You know already what is meant by a string is a group of characters or sentence or a name or anything like this. We have so many uses of strings in C++, but I'll introduce some of the predefined functions in C++ and Python later. Now I'll give you some of the very interesting predefined functions that Python has. Okay. If you can try understand it by just using this thing, we'll try to write it here. I'll just remove this thing and okay, input, enter your name. Okay, enter your name. And this is our answer. I'll remove everything from here to understand these functions. Enter your name, and here we have different kind of functions. We are asking, in this case, I have given here itself, but here I am asking the user to give the name. After the name has entered, I can change the name from lowercase to uppercase. When I say this sentence, if you are trying to understand, this answer is a variable which is taking your name, and if I print that answer, what will it do? It will ask you to enter the name, and whatever you have entered, it will be printed. Okay, the same way here the sentence is taking the full line, which is a group of group of characters with space in including. It's a sentence, and that's why I wrote it here, sentence. When I write this variable sentence dot upper, then it will change it into upper. And now if I write answer dot upper here, whatever answer you will enter, it will be converted into upper. If I say, okay, see, mashallah, this is so good, right, to play. If I say lower, if I say answer dot lower, and what will happen, let us see. Now I'll try different kind of characters, say Nishan, okay, capital N. What it did, it gave me all capitals ones and all small ones, because I have explicitly tried to control this answer and tried to convert this answer into upper characters and lower characters. Alhamdulillah. See here, it's something different. When we are trying to use capitalize function, what will it do? It will only make the sentence in a sentence format. Sentence format, I mean in English format. In English, how is a sentence? Only the first character, the first letter of the sentence will be capital. And here this is a good, it's really interesting. Let us use this here. Okay. Okay. Print answer dot count, and we will try to count A. Okay, let me check if I have not missed the syntax. Okay. Yeah. And now I write who are there with us. Okay, okay, I'll take the name of, yeah, I'll take someone's name, Farzana and Miraj. Okay. Firstly, try to print it as upper and lower. It says 4. What does this mean? I am trying the computer to count the number of A's in the thing that I have entered. The same way you can enter a sentence. You can count the number of letters in a big file. We can do these huge computations later on, but how we can use, we have to learn it first. Okay, and please do not get scared that you have so many libraries, you have so many functions that you need to remember. You don't have to remember anything. You can just go to the python.org, okay, and see the documentation there. You have so many documentations. You will find answer to everything that you want. Okay, there will be some beginner's guide. You will get so many modules and examples from which you can learn. If you want to search something like this, okay, I want to search the random here. So you will get how we can use the random function in Python, how we can use this or that. If you cannot go to the python.org or you cannot find it there, you can go to Google and type random. Nowadays, nobody remembers anything. Just they remember tags and go on with the coding. You try to remember everything, you cannot move forward, because the I mean, people today is very fast. You need to learn all of the programming languages and you have to be very fast in all of this. Okay. So do not be scared if you are not able to remember all of the things. Even I don't remember all of the things because we have to be comfortable to program in every language. All of the languages are mixed today. You have to know C++, you have to know Java, you have to know HTML, and you have to know Python. I'll try to give you another example here. What is this? Just now I give you input, what's your name, or enter your name, and we have tried to do it, right? Upper, lower, the same way we can use the capitalize. One good thing we have in Python is when we are trying to concatenate the strings, we can use plus. We can use the symbol plus. For numbers, if you want to, just now we did here, if you see here, yeah. What we did, because it's a number, we have just put a comma and then we have inserted the double quotes and we took it. Here it's this print, it's taking complex things. It's taking string, it's taking numbers. For that reason, we have written comma. Here, it's all strings. Hello and plus. The first name is storing actually a string, or I can say a name. Yeah, that's why I have written plus here. The same way, you can go on with very long string. Okay, here. Yeah. Just now I have told you when we are trying to take numbers and strings together, see, if I am trying to take the number here and I write plus here and I write a string here, the Python will get confused. Okay, in that case, what you do? You have to write this number, comma, and then go to the string. If you are using plus, you have to explicitly convert this number as a string, or else you can write comma here. Are you getting my point? Yes? Shall I explain again? Did you find the difference? See here, days in February is a number. It's taking a number, okay? This is a number. After this number, you want to write any string, then you have to give comma, okay? Then that will be good. If you are writing plus after a number, it will get confused. Oh, why? This is a number and this is a string. What I have to do? You are printing this two different kinds of data types in one print? That's the reason. What we have to do, either place a comma here and remove this plus, or say to the computer that convert this number into a string. How can we convert that number? Using str. The way that we have did it, just yeah, you got this error. Yes, you will get this error. That's the reason I'm trying you to understand, Muhammad Wazir, that we have to explicitly say that consider this days in February as a string, or just put a comma and do this thing. Okay, this thing, see here, you can understand by this simple example. I took a number 5 and I took a number 6, but what is actually I'm doing here? I give 5 as a character and 6 as a character. If I write 5 and 6 as a character, it will be stored as characters itself. It will be stored as strings. And when I ask the computer to print first number, second number, what will happen? Let's see. Okay, we'll go here to the Python compiler. Okay, I write I equals some number 5, and then I write j equals some number 6. I say I plus j. Okay, see what's there? So it is actually concatenating these two numbers, means writing 6 after 5, just concatenating them, and it is considering those numbers as the strings because we have did it like this. So this is one of the additional use of Python to consider numbers also as as strings. Okay, these are the other two different kinds of predefined functions or libraries. Okay, very good, you got it, mashallah. He's very fast, mashallah. You can get inspired and you can compete with your participants. See, he's doing it parallelly. I have not executed, but he has executed. He took ABC as 29 and tried to print this thing, and this was the output. Okay, okay, let us also run this. Yeah, 29 days in February. If I remove this str, what will happen? It will give us an error. It will give us an error. Okay, that's the reason we have to explicitly say that only two strings can be concatenated. Only two strings can be concatenated. That's the reason we have to keep str there. Yeah, here date and time are the two different libraries that will help us to extract, to give the dates, to give the current date or current time. Okay, so for that we have to understand this thing. Okay, I'll show you here. Okay, in Python we'll get so many libraries. Okay, no, let me give you some good examples so that you can understand this thing. Okay, we have an Arabic library and we have an English library. I gave you word qalb. Okay, qalb. It means heart in Arabic. I gave you another word heart. It means heart in English. Okay, these are the two same words, but one word is in Arabic library and one word is in English library. No, this is not a very good example for you to understand. Okay, I'll try to explain you here itself. Firstly, date time is one big dictionary. Inside that big dictionary, we have date time as a one predefined function. Okay, this is simple, right? You understood it, right? It's a very big dictionary, and from that dictionary we are saying this dictionary has so many different kinds of functions. But from this big dictionary, we want to input only this function. We don't want other functions from this library. Okay, we have, for example, I am asking you, go to that coffee shop and please bring me chocolate coffee. Please don't bring me all the things, only I want chocolate coffee from that coffee shop. The coffee shop may have other things like juice or some other coffee or so many things, right? The same way we are trying, when one library has so many functions, then in that case we have to write from so and so take so and so. Okay, good, we are going good.
Yes.
Okay, these kind of things we don't have in C++. That's the reason I have to give extra stress to you to understand this thing. You know, if you understand this thing, you can do many of the programs in Python. It allows you to do almost everything that other computer programming languages does. You can do the same problem of C++ in Python. You can do the same problem of Java in Python. You can do the same problem of R or any other language in Python. it has very big library, and for importing library, this is the command that we use. If it's only one method or one function, we just write import and that function name. If it's a big library, then we'll ask from this library import this function, and from this library what we are taking this function, and this function it will give you different things. If you say this is the current date is my variable, okay, this is my variable that I am trying to store. Let us just give a quick example of this thing. I say something, my time, this is my variable, okay, and this is my variable. What I'm trying to do is what's the syntax? Let me check again. Yeah, it's date time dot now. Okay, date time dot now. Before that, what I have to do, I have to import it, right, from what's the library, date time, and import, what's the function that we have to import, date time. Okay, then let us print what is there in my time. Okay, Bismillah. Okay, before that, let me check again if I have missed something. Yeah, I hope I have not missed anything. Okay, until that it executes, we'll move forward to another example here. See, this yeah, date time now. So when we are using date time now, it has so many things in that. It will now means there is a time, there is some hour, minute, second, there is a day, there is a month, there is a date, there is an year. Okay, did you get? When I am saying time now, it can be considered from all these things. Are you getting right? So when we are using this date time now, from this date time now we can use dot date, dot month, dot year to give all these things, to give all the, oh no, this connection went on again. Let me duplicate it again and try to copy this and execute in another. So this is a very big problem with the online compilers, that will not give you very good experience in coding. Okay, oh no, I have copied some wrong code, that's why it gave me, okay, no problem, I'll not write it, you can practice it in your home using all these things. I have got something in the chat. Okay, yeah, he has executed this thing. Today is, okay, he has already done this. Okay, we'll just copy this here and paste it in our compiler to see if it's giving us the right thing. Okay, date time now, and we are saying this current date has to be printed. Why we are converting this into str? Because here we gave is as a string, and when we are saying plus, it has to be converted into the string. When you are using strings, then to be safe side, always use this. Okay, see here, when I say current, this date time now, for this date time now, it's giving the date and the time. Okay, and with the seconds and milliseconds. When I say day, only give me the day, it gives me 2. This is the second day, right, of February, and second month of the year 2021. So this is one of the examples of using date functions. We'll move forward. Yeah, and this is very good. When you are comparing the strings, the capital and small are different. As we have seen, when we converted lower into lower, and when we converted upper, then it will be converted into upper. The same way, strings are case sensitive. Okay, case sensitive, it means when I write something like this, Canada, and I say in comparison I have used small Canada, then that will not be considered as the same string. That will be considered as something different. Okay, do you want me to execute this for you? Country Canada, and if country is Canada, then it will not go here. It will go to the else statement and it will print you that you are not from Canada because these things are not matched. Okay, what can we do to make this program print, oh, look, a Canadian, something, this positive statement I want to print? What can we do? Can anybody just tell me what can we do in these two statements? I give Canada as capital Canada. What can I do here to make it capital?
We can use the capital function before Canada, or before capital of country.
Or we can use lower function or the capital function. If I want
We can use country before that capital.
If country, or here you are saying capitalize country? Or here?
No, before Canada we can use capitalize, and before that we can import also.
Okay, yes, we can do in that way, or else we can convert this country into lowercase. Okay, yeah, here it's one example. Yeah, there is another thing which I have to show you. We have already did it in one of the programs, but I will try to show you again. We will try to take some integer. I want to show that how we can use multiple conditions for if. We have already seen this. If x equals some 1 or x equals 2, this thing we have seen, right? Or and not, we have seen this. In which program we have seen this? Or and not, if you remember, have we seen
Logical operators.
Yes, logical operators. I have given some program, right? What was the program, if you remember? Anybody? I'm not able to recall. We have used somewhere in some of the program. Okay. Yeah, we have used it in the leap year. Got it, right? We have used it in the leap year. So let me try to use something else instead of and or, because we have already experienced the usage of and or not. I will give you another multi-case of if, which is, let us first try to take the input. We'll try to take the strings. Okay, enter name. Yeah, after entering name, what I try to do is, in range is something else. Just wait a minute. Yeah, so what we have to do is, in is one of the usage which will help us to check something like a loop. I'll introduce loop later in the next class, but for now we'll try to understand this thing. If I am trying to check x, if x in, and I'll give okay, first I'll explain you here and then we'll go there. See here, I is a variable which is taking some input, some name or something like this. Then I am saying if this I entered is something like this. If it's like this, if these names are this way, then something has to be printed. And or else if I is consisting of a name like this, then it has to be a female name. We'll try to do this again. Okay, if this X is in the range of something like this. Okay, I'll take some name. Okay, who are with us? Let us take their names. Okay, Abdul Arif and okay, it's not printing here. Arif and for example, Wazir. Okay, if this is the case, if the entered X lies in these two names, if the entered X is these two names, then we'll print, okay, these are the male participants of our class. Good. Elif. X in, this is else if in C++. Now I am saying Elif, and we'll give the female participant's name. Okay, Mehraj, and who are with us, and Zishan, and we have Farzana. Okay, then we will print, sorry I missed colon, and print, who's this? These are the female participants. Okay, so what's being happening here, if this X will be checked for everything, this one and this one, or this one, everything, a long list can be checked using this. If X in so and so, then print this thing. Okay, this is one of the usage of in. Okay, let me enter something. Okay, I gave Zishan and it says she is a female. And we move forward. We are just very near to the end. I'll just explain one switch statement in C++ and then we'll end because the time is also very less, inshallah. Switch statement is actually used in C++ and Python too. But for understanding switch statement in Python, you need to understand functions first, how we can define our own functions. So when I introduce functions in C++, I'll introduce this switch statement in Python too, okay? Inshallah. So in C++, it's very easy and it's very interesting to code with switch statement. You know, the switch statement, what is this mean is, when you go to a restaurant, you will see a menu, right? A menu, a list of items. We have like breakfast, these items, and lunch, these items, and dinner, these items. So when you press, if the menu is on a computer, how it has to be, okay, welcome customer, please enter the time, I mean, the kind of dinner, the kind of food that you want to have. Is that a breakfast food or lunch or dinner? Then if you press breakfast, then only the breakfast things have to be displayed. Okay. So when we have different kinds of cases for such kind of problems, we use switch statement. So switch statement will always take some input. That input can be any data type. It can be integer, it can be float or character or anything. Okay. And after this selector has been entered here, the selector will go to match up the selection here to the labels, label 1, label 2, and label 2, label 3, so on. So this case will actually help like this. As this is a switch is a keyword which is saying that this is a switch statement. Case is a keyword which is saying that we have so many cases. Go to this case if this is matching. The selector and the labels always match. Okay. The selector will match to any one of the label. Okay, and here we will have our statements. Whatever we want to write, whatever we want to execute, then it will be written here. And every case will have a break statement. Every case will have a break statement here. Okay, likewise, at the end, the default will be one of the case. It is optional, you don't have to write it, but if you want to write default and say that please enter the correct option or please enter the correct case, then you can use it here. If you don't write break, that will be difficult. The use of break, it means first go to this case, execute the lines of statements it has, and then stop. If you don't write stop here, it will execute all the cases. Okay, so we'll write one simple program here. I have given some definitions of this thing. Okay, you can read it by yourself. You have understood what I have explained here, so I don't have to repeat the definitions. Now we'll try to, okay, write it in C++. Let me, okay. Okay, I think I have written some of the things to show you quickly. Okay, here we have a switch statement. I'll just use it here. It will be much bigger to understand. Yeah, here it's an switch case. Firstly, I initialize an variable called choice and ask the user to enter that variable and stored it in choice. After choice has been entered, whatever the choice you have entered, these cases, I told you that 1, 2, 3, 4 will be the choice. Okay, let's see what is happening here when we compile this program. Okay, it's void main. Okay, I'll remove and write the int main. It's not accepting void main, but it will accept in other compilers. Some of the compilers will not accept void main. When I do it in Visual Studio Code, I think it's not taking C++ again. Okay, I missed one. Yeah. Okay. Enter choice. Let me give 3 or 4. Okay, you have chosen 4. It also giving me invalid choice. Why is this? When I press 4, it has to give me only this, but it's also giving me invalid choice. Why?
Break statement.
Excellent. I have missed break. Intentionally, I have not written break so that you identify what has to be done to write the switch statement. Okay, after every statement you need to write break, but because we have to end it here, we don't want the compiler to move forward. Okay, that's the reason. Yeah, this is one of the program that I have written to identify the year of a person who has entered in our college. If he is in the first year, then it will be said as a freshman or the first year student or second year student or third year, something like this. You can write any of the programs. I'll give you some of them in the homework. You can do it by yourself. Yeah, and yeah, here I have homework. The thing I have told you that always try to figure out where you are doing the mistake by using these lines of code. When we do some mistake here, it will be given by the line and everything, right? So always do debugging your code. In Python, it's very good. Inshallah, in the next class, I'll introduce loops to you. Loops, and if the time permits, we'll go to functions too. Do you know what is meant by a loop? Loop means continuous execution. We have given an example of loop in flowchart. Does anybody remember? We have called loop something in flowchart. What was that? Repeat it.
You mean error handling?
No, this error handling, I have just given you guidelines here that always try to see your code and debug it to understand how you can handle the errors in Python. This is very easy error handling. If these are some instructions for you, first try to reread your code, check the documentation or search the internet, take a break and ask someone else. These are some of the steps that you can do to handle some kind of errors in Python. Whereas in C++, you have to check line by line. It's a bit complicated when compared to Python. Okay, inshallah, at the